next problem statement is to read and print three employee details. To read and print three employee details using Typedef structure. So this is another type of a structure. Okay. So the syntax of this particular Typedef structure is just for recalling you. Syntax of Typedef structure is, first we need to write Typedef followed by struct. Here we are going to write the member list followed by, before closing with an semicolon, we need to write the tag name over here. So this is what the tag name, this is what the representation of Typedef structure. Now let us try to read and print three employee details. So hash include stdio.h int main. So before main, I am going to create a structure of employee. So here I am writing Typedef struct followed by, here I am going to write the member list, that is int what is the employee ID, I am writing as EID, char name of the employee with some size. Next float what is the salary of the employee, note what is the salary of the employee. Next here we are going to write the tag name as employee, int main. Now here I am going to create the three identifiers for this employee. So earlier case, just to recall you, we wrote it as struct followed by employee followed by identifier names like E1, E2 and E3. These are three employees. Okay, as we used to write similarly for int like variables a comma b comma c. So how we are going to initialize? The same way we have initialized here. Now if you can see here, we need to write like struct employee is similar to int. Okay, int is similar to struct employee. Next we have the identifiers a comma b comma c, which is similar to E1 comma E2 comma E3. So these are the three employees followed by semicolon. The same notation, but one important thing which you need to remember as part of this particular statement is whenever you are using Typedef, so here we need not to use struct once again, because you have already defined the type of the data as struct. So here we need not to write struct, we can directly write it as employee, and this employee is your user defined data type. Followed by the identifier names of this employee. So E1 takes the entire size of this particular individual identifier. Similarly E2 takes, similarly E3 takes. As we have seen the example for int A allocates with 4 bytes, B also takes 4 bytes and C also takes 4 bytes. Similarly, the employee of whatever the size which is being given by the compiler, so individual sizes will be allocated for E1, E2 as well as E3. Now here we need to remove this struct employee. I hope you understood it, right? So this is a difference between tagged structure and Typedef structure. In a tagged structure, we need to write the struct keyword whenever we are initializing the identifier. But whenever you take Typedef structure, we need not to write struct again. This very important point, please do remember. Next, here I am requesting the user for the inputs. Enter employee 1 details. So here I am reading the employee 1 details, scanf. So what is the first one? %d, that is employee ID. The next one is %s, that is name of the employee. %f is the salary of the employee. Here address of, what is the E1? The first one, employee 1, E1 is an identifier which I have defined for employee. E1 dot EID, E1 dot employee ID, EID. Next, E1 dot name, E1 dot name. Next, address of E1 dot salary, E1 dot salary. So this is how we are going to read the employee details of employee 1. Similarly, if I want to read the second employee details, so I am copying this. This is to read the second employee details. So the second employee details is E2 dot EID, E2 dot name, E2 dot salary. So this is how we are going to read the second employee details. Now if I want to read the third employee details, that is employee 3 details, E3 dot EID, E3 dot name, E3 dot salary. So this is how we are going to read the third employee details. Now if I want to print these employee details, so I'll be printing in this way, printf the employee details are, so here I am printing the employee details. I want to print the employee details, then I need to write like this, like printf. So what is the first employee detail, and I want to represent in a tabular format, then I can write in this way, in a tabular format, that is employee details, just a random hyphens. You will be seeing how exactly the structure will be there, like printf. So the first field is id /t, and the next field is name /t is the tab space, and the next field is salary. So this is /n. So after this again I am using this, just to make a good look and feel. I am using this. We can directly also print it, it's not a big deal, but the thing is, to make output to look more effective, I am writing this. Next, printf. So what is the first field value? That is percentile D, that is employee ID, followed by /t, and the next one is percentile S, the name of the employee, and the next one is /t followed by percentile F. Okay, now after this /n, comma, now you should give the correct order, that is E1 dot EID. The first field is E1 dot EID. Next one E1 dot name, and what is the next one? E1 dot salary, Now if we can see this, we are printing, first one is employee ID, whatever we have read. Next, employee name, whatever the employee name which we have read at runtime, that name is printed, and whatever the salary which we have read at runtime, that salary is also printed. Now there are 3 employee details, so I require 3 printf statements. So 3 printf statements. The second employee is E2.EID. Second employee name is E2.name and E2.salary. Next, E3.employee ID, E3.name, E3.salary. So this is how we are going to read 3 employee details. The last one is return 0. We are giving a message to the operating system that our job is successfully done. So this is how we are going to print the output. Now let me execute this code and show you how you are going to read the multiple employee details and how you are going to print the result. So I am reading employee 1 details. So what are all the employee 1 details? So you need to input the details according to the scanf statement what you have written. So here E1.EID, the first field will be ID, employee ID. So I am giving the employee ID as 1201. And next, the employee name. What is the employee name? Employee name is Aravind. Next field is what is the salary of the employee. So salary of the employee, I am giving it as 50,000. Next, so immediately it will ask for enter employee 2 details. Again we need to give the same format, like how we need to read. The first field is employee ID. Next one is employee name, Archana is the employee name, and I am taking the salary 60,000. Next, enter employee 3 details, 1203. Next, the employee name is Avanti. I am taking the salary 70,000. So this is how we have read 3 employee details. Now as soon as I hit enter, now you can see the output will be printed in this fashion. So that is the reason why I have used this hyphens and all, just to show you output in a good way. So the employee details are ID, name, salary. These are like headings. 1201 is ID. Next, name Aravind, salary. Next, whatever the salary which you have read for that employee, those details you have printed. So this is how you are going to get the output for the given input for individual identifiers of structure. I hope you understood this output clearly. Just we are printing it. That's it. Now let us understand, if we are having thousands of employees in an organization, then identifiers by writing a comma, it will become very difficult task. So if you want to initialize multiple identifiers of same name under the given structure name, then you can use array of structures.